Today on MTG Unpacked, we're continuing our look at the Commander 2021 decks. This is Prismari Performance. So these have a tie-in with Strixhaven, and we can see we've got Zephyr, Thunder Conductor. You'll notice the typo here, Thunder Collector. I'm wondering if they've fixed that on the actual card. And this is actually just printed on the cardboard. They used to have a plastic window here. So very cool that they're saving the packaging, getting rid of the plastic. And let's see what else we've got here. Choose your commander and overcome both friend and foe in this definitive multiplayer Magic format. So as you cast bigger and bigger spells, Zephyr will reward you with bigger and bigger payoffs. Interesting. So this is the Prismari College. We've got a deck box, 100 card deck with 17 new cards, 10 double-sided tokens, life rule, strategy, insert, and reference card. Okay, so let's get into it. So they do have a pull tab on the bottom, very convenient. And then we'll pull out the deck here and box, set that aside. Okay, so here's our very cool deck box. Artwork there, Prismari Performance. And then here is the other thing. And we've got some punch out tokens there. Use them as victory confetti if you like. Okay, let's take a look. So we've got a divider and a couple of flyers. And let's see, here's the deck itself. So here is the life wheel. So we'll go, I think it goes up to 40 and then counts down from 20. Let's take a look here. So if you're new to Commander, we've got this Learn to Play Commander sheet. So it gives you the real basics here. If you want to freeze frame that, check it out. And then on the other side, a bit about the deck itself. Zephyr, Thunder Conductor. So this is a blue-red deck. And here's some of the other commanders in the deck. So we'll see those momentarily. Alright. So let's get into it, and these go for 35 to 40 bucks US. Bit expensive compared to the Kaldheim. I think those were only about 20. But yeah, I think you're getting value for money. There is a lot of extra rares and mythics here. Okay, so let's separate out the lands. Got a whole bunch of lands and tokens. We'll take a look at those later in the video. And let's see, divide this up. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So we've got Zephyr, Thunder Conductor, legendary creature, human shaman. It's a mythic. 1/4 for 4 with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, scry 1. If that spell's mana value is 5 or greater, so the mana value, just another term for the converted mana cost, you're adding up the values up there. If it's 5 or greater, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. If that spell's mana value is 10 or greater, Zephyr, Thunder, yep, there's the typo, Collector, deals 10 damage to an opponent chosen at random. Okay, so that is the commander, so copying spells and basically doing more damage. Interesting. Okay, so the next one here, we have Veyran, Voice of Duality, legendary creature, Efreet Wizard, another mythic. 2/2 for 3 with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Veyran, Voice of Duality gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and if you casting or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So you're getting lots of multipliers here from all of that business. Next up, we've got Resculpt, instant for 2. Exile target artifact or creature its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. So some removal at the cost of getting the token, although you could, I guess you could use it on your own artifact or creature. Stormkiln Artist, creature dwarf shaman 2/2 for 4. Gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. Has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. Elemental Masterpiece. Sorcery for 7. Create 2 4/4 blue and red elemental creature tokens. And for either a blue or red, so 2 of those, discard Elemental Masterpiece. You get to create a treasure token. So in case you're not aware, it's an artifact with tap. Sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any colour. Expressive Iteration, sorcery for 2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, put one on the bottom of your library, and exile one of them. You may play the exiled card this turn. And we've got another commander here. Ruther, Mercurial Artist, legendary creature, Orc, Shaman, 1/4 for 3. For 2, return Ruther, Mercurial Artist to its owner's hand. You get to copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Letter of Acceptance, artifact for 3, tap to add 1 mana of any colour. For 2, tap, sack it, draw a card. This one you could actually put in just about any commander deck. We've got some lands here. Prismari Campus, enters battlefield, tap, tap it for blue or red. For 4, tap, you get to scry 1. Study Hall, tap for colours. For 1, tap. Add 1 mana of any colour when you spend this mana to cast your commander. Scry X, where X is the number of times it's been cast from the command zone in this game. So we've seen this one, I think it was in the other 2 decks, which incidentally, if you have not seen the other decks in the series, I'll chuck a link in the corner to the complete commander playlist. Next up, this is a cool one, Brainstorm, instant for a single blue, draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Living Law, creature avatar, star for 4. As it enters battlefield, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Living Law's power and toughness reach equal to the exiled card's mana value. Whenever Living Law deals combat damage, you may sacrifice it. If you do, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Oh, here's another cool one. Ponder, sorcery for a single blue. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. You may shuffle, draw a card. Serum Visions, nice one. Sorcery for a single blue, draw a card, scry 2. Traumatic Visions, instant for 5. Counter target spell, has basic land cycling for 1 and a blue. So you pay that, discard this card, you get to search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Treasure Cruise, holy moly, sorcery for 8, has Delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting a spell pays for 1. Okay. Draw 3 cards. So this is sort of like a commander, a control and a bit of an aggro deck as well. You're multiplying burn spells and so forth. We've got Faithless Looting, sorcery for a single red, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards, has flashback 2 and a red. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. So that's a cool one. Fiery Fall, instant for 6. Deals 5 damage to target creature, has basic land cycling for 1 and a red. So I think we've got a bunch of that in this deck. And I just noticed something here. We've got a bit of damage on this commander. Not impressed there. Okay. Humble Defector, creature, human rogue, 2/1 for 2, tap, draw 2 cards, target opponent gains control of Humble Defector, activate only during your turn. Mana Geyser, sorcery for 5, add red for each tap land your opponent's control. Seething Song, instant for 3, holy moly, add 5 red mana, whoa. Crackling Drake, this is another cool one. Creature Drake, star 4 for 4 with flying. Its power is equal to the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. And when it enters battlefield, draw a card. So I remember playing that one back when it was in standard. Very fun, really beefed that guy up. Okay, let's get through the rest here. So we've got Arcane Signet, artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. You'll see this in just about every commander deck these days. Hedron Archive, artifact for 4. Tap to add 2 colours. For 2 taps, sack it, draw 2 cards. Is it Signet or isn't it? Artifact for 2. Pay 1 tap. You can add blue and red. Mind Stone, we've seen this one as well. Artifact for 2. Tap to add colours. For 1 tap, sack it, draw a card. And you have never seen this card before, have you? It's a Soul Ring. What does it do? It's an artifact for 1. Tap to add 2 colourless mana. And yes, you're probably sick of seeing it by now. It's in just about every commander deck. Talisman of Creativity. Artifact for 2. Tap to add colours for, or tap to add blue or red, and it deals 1 damage to you. Blighted Cataract. Okay, they're sneaking in more lands here. It's a land, tap to add colours for 5 and blue, tap, sack it, draw 2 cards. Command Tower, this is another common one. Land, tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Dazzling Sphinx, creature Sphinx 4/5 for 5 with flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, and that player puts exiled cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of their library in a random order. Nice. Inspiring Refrain, sorcery for 6, draw 2 cards. Exile Inspiring Refrain with 3 time counters on it, and it has suspend 3 for 2 and blue. So rather than cast this card from your hand, you may pay that and exile with 3 time counters on it. Beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter when the last is removed. Cast it without paying its mana cost. Muse Vortex, sorcery for X and 2 red, 2 blue. Exile the top X cards of your library. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value X or less from among them without paying its mana cost. Then put the exiled instant and sorcery cards that weren't cast this way into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay, so a lot of getting away with paying things without paying their mana costs. Interesting. Octavia Living Thesis. What? Legendary creature, Elemental Octopus. Is this a new card? Does anyone know? I think it is. 8/8 for 10. Spell cost 8 less to cast. If you have 8 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, has Ward 8 and Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, target creature has base power and toughness 8/8 until end of turn. What? That is insanity. You can beef up your other creatures as well, at least just for that turn. But still, Sly Instigator. Creature Human Wizard 2/4 for 4 for a blue tap until your next turn. Target creature and opponent controls can't be blocked. Goad that creature. That means until your next turn, that creature attacks each combat if able and attacks player other than you if able. Creative Technique. What is this? Sorcery for 5 has Demonstrate. When you cast a spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Shuffle your library, then reveal cards from the top of it until you reveal a non-land card. Exile that card and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Fiery Encore, sorcery for 5. Discard a card, then draw a card. When you discard a non-land card this way, Fiery Encore deals damage equal to that card's mana value to target creature or planeswalker. And this has Storm. Oh no. When you cast a spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. That can get out of control real quick. Next up we have Inferno Project. Creature Elemental 0/0 for 7 has Trample. When it enters battlefield, has X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the total mana value of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Craziness. Radiant Performer. Creature Human Wizard 2/2 for 5 with Flash. When it enters battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, choose target spell or ability that targets only a single permanent or player. Copy that spell or ability for each other permanent or player the spell or ability could target. Each copy targets a different one of those permanents and players. Okay, another legendary here. Riona Fire Dancer. Legendary creature, Human Wizard 3/4 for 5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create X tokens that are copies of another target creature you control, where X is 1 plus the number of instant and sorcery spells you've cast this turn. They gain haste exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Rousing Refrain. What is this, like an orchestra or something? Cool. Sorcery for 5. Add red for each card in target opponent's hand. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Exile Rousing Refrain with 3 time counters on it, and it has suspend 3, so that's where you can delay the casting. Surge to Victory. Sorcery for 6. Exile target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Creatures you control get +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is that card's mana value. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player this turn, copy the exile card. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. Reinterpret. What's that supposed to be? Yeah, trying to figure it out. Instant for 4. Counter target spell. Yeah, it's like a control thing. You may cast a spell with an equal or less mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. Good deal. Elementalist Palette. Nice. Artifact for 3. Whenever you cast a spell with X and its mana cost, put 2 charge counters on Elementalist Palette. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. Tap to add colors for each charge counter on Elementalist Palette. Spend this mana only on costs that contain X. Okay, so that could be useful in decks with a lot of things with X in the mana cost. Either Ether Gale, source 3 for 5, return 6 non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Nice bounce spell there. Ether Spouts, instant for 5 for each attacking creature its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Dig Through Time, instant for 8, has Delve. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Diluvian Primordial, creature avatar, 5/5 for 7 with flying, and when it enters battlefield, for each opponent you may cast up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If a spell cast this way will be put into a graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Metallurgic Summonings, we've got a Mythic. Enchantment for 5, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an X that's colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's mana value. For 3 and 2 blue, exile it. Return all instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Activate only if you control 6 or more artifacts. Mind's Desire. Sorcery for 6. Shuffle your library, then exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card without paying its mana cost. And we have Storm here again. Okay, another Mythic. Narumeha, Master Wizard, legendary creature, human wizard, 3/3 for 4 with flash. So when it enters battlefield, of course, copy target or instant sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Other wizards you control get +1/+1. Okay, so do we have a bunch of wizards here? I haven't been paying that close attention. It seems like a lot of instants and sorceries here. Swarm Intelligence, enchantment for 7. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Talrand, Sky Summoner, legendary creature, Merfolk Wizard, 2/2 for 4. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. So yeah, this is why the deck is loaded with instants and sorceries. You're like taking advantage of those and also copying them. Apex of Power, it's a Mythic. Sorcery for 10. What? Exile the top 7 cards of your library until end of turn. You may cast spells from among them. If the spell was cast from your hand, add 10 mana of any one color. Oh dear. Blasphemous Act. Sorcery for 9. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. It deals 13 damage to each creature. Brass's Bounty. Sorcery for 7. For each land you control, create a treasure token. Charmbreaker Devils. Creature Devil, 4/4 for 6 at the beginning of your upkeep. Return an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard to your hand. Of course, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Charmbreaker Devils gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Jewelcaster Mage. Okay, so here we're getting, I guess we're getting a few wizards. Creature Human Wizard, 2/2 for 3 as flash. When it enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Erratic Cyclops. Creature Cyclops Shaman, 0/8 for 4. Trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Erratic Cyclops gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value. I can imagine your opponent's like, oh, you're not copying a spell this turn? That's interesting. Atali Primal Storm. Legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur, 6/6 for 6. Whenever Atali attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana costs. Oh, and we got a Mythic. Jaya Ballard. Legendary Planeswalker Jaya, 5 loyalty for 5. Her +1, add 3 red mana. Spend this mana only to cast instant or sorcery spells. Her other +1, discard up to 3 cards and draw that many cards. -8. You get an emblem with, you may cast instant and sorcery spells from your graveyard. If a spell cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Okay, just 1 planeswalker there. Sunbird's Invocation, enchantment for 6. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is that spell's mana value. You may cast a spell with mana value X or less from among cards revealed this way without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So there's a lot of cheating spells out or reducing the cost in this one. Volcanic Vision. Sorcery for 7. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Volcanic Vision deals damage to that card's mana value to each creature your opponents control. Nastiness. Exile Volcanic Vision. Wildfire Devils, creature devil 4/2 for 4. So when it enters battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, choose a player at random. That player exiles an instant or sorcery card from their graveyard. Copy that card. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost, of course. Call the Skybreaker. Sorcery for 7 credit, 5/5 blue and red, elemental creature token with flying, has retrace. What is that? You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to paying its other costs. Okay. You've got a lot of extra lands, I guess. Epic Experiment, it's a mythic. Sorcery for X, blue and red, exile the top X cards of your library. You may cast instant and sorcery spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana costs. Then put all cards exiled this way that weren't cast into your graveyard. Pyromancer's Goggles, another mythic. Legendary artifact for 5, tap to add red. When that mana is spent to cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell and you may choose new targets for the copy. Okay, so that is the bulk of the deck. Now we're going to take a look at the mana base here. We've got an Exotic Orchard, which I think we saw in the other decks. It's a land, tap to add 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. Have not seen this one yet. Scavenger Grounds, tap to add colours. It's a land desert. For 2 taps, sack a desert, exile all cards from all graveyards. Shivan Reef, it's land, tap for colours or tap for blue or red. It deals 1 damage to you. Temple of Epiphany enters tapped. When it enters battlefield, scry 1, tap it for blue or red. Desert of the Fervent, when it enters battlefield, it's tap for red, cycle it for 1 and red. Desert of the Mindful enters tapped. Tap it for blue, cycle for 1 and a blue. Forgotten Cave enters tapped. Tap for red, cycling for red. Okay, so there's a lot of tap lands in here. These tend to be a little slow. We've got Is It Boilerworks, enters tapped. When it enters battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Tap for blue and red. And you would probably want to upgrade the deck by replacing the tap lands with like shock lands or something. Lonely Sandbar, its land enters battlefield, tap it for blue, cycle for blue. Mage Ring Network, tap for colours for 1. Tap, put a storage counter on Mage Ring Network and tap to remove any number of storage counters from Mage Ring Network. You get to add a colourless mana for each storage counter removed this way. Another tap land here, Memorial to Genius, tap for blue, for 4 and a blue, tap, sack it, draw 2 cards. Myriad Landscape, we saw this one before, enters the battlefield, tap it for colourless, for 2, tap, sack it. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type. Put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Oh, this is nice. Reliquary Tower, it's land. You have no maximum hand size, tap for colourless. Temple of the False God, it's a land, tap for 2 colours, activate only if you control 5 or more lands. And then we've got some basic lands. So let's see here. 3, 7, 8. Okay, about 10 there, unless I miscounted. And then mountains. Cool artwork. 7, 8. Probably getting, okay, 9 of those. And then, this is interesting, Sapphire Thunder Conductor. You'll notice why we're getting it again. Well, this is like a display card. It's extra thick. So they're doing that instead of the oversized cards. So it still has the foiling on it. Pop that down there. And then we get a Drake token on the other side. We've got an Elemental. So we're probably getting a bunch of those. Drake, an Elemental. And Drake, an Elemental. Okay, Treasure token. On the other side, we've got the Construct. And let's see, Construct, Treasure, Construct. Okay, Elemental with flying, 5/5, very cool. And a Copy token. You need a bunch of those, either Elemental and Copy token, and a little tip card on your turn, and popular Magic formats. Okay, so there we have it. So this one's an interesting one. You've got an absolute ton of instant sorceries. You're copying things, you're reducing costs. You're taking advantage of those abilities when you copy or when they enter the battlefield, all sorts of stuff like that. So this is one, it's a strange hybrid of like control and almost like a burn deck type strategy. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this one, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for more Magic the Gathering unboxings, and be sure to tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released. Stay tuned, we've got a couple more of these Commander 2021 decks. I'm hoping to get through the rest of them today, so can't wait. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.